Well, that theme doesn't completely wreck me before the movie even starts. Not in the least. I wasn't even crying a little in theaters with my family. Yeah, for most kids, sports are pure joy, so it makes sense that joy's in control. And for any of you who are like I was, terrified of failing, pain, looking dumb, letting your team down, what have you, I see ya. I promise it gets better, just keep going.
That's not ours! And that, folks, is the infamous disgust. That's right, sadness is in the house!
And even though we know all the emotions from the first movie, it would be relatable anyway because, well, you know, lots of us feel these things too. Also some emotional maturity for Riley to feel sad about the penalty and not what I would have embraced at her age. Pure fiery rage.
Where's Family Island?
It's right there!
Oof. I mean, yay! I'm so happy for Riley that she's progressing through life exactly like she's supposed to. I'm not devastated for the idea that I won't be my kid's entire world someday.
Homework should be illegal.
Based.
Get Up and Glow is the best band ever!
They're no Four-Town, but I'm sure they still got some bangers. Bree is the only other student in the background looking concerned. Way to not be a jerk, Bree.
It's okay. I drop things all the time.
And good on Riley, but that teacher needs to step up. Bro, the kids in your class are laughing at another student. This is junior high. This is traumatizing. Dumb. Do your job. Well, oh, right, so she's like a superstar. Okay, good to know.
Ooh, the Firehawks! Finally a team I can get behind!
Ha, suits him. Might seem obvious, but thank you, filmmakers, for showing the reality of sports and sweat on the girls' faces. And the design of everything is amazing, but I absolutely love the Foghorns logo on their jerseys.
A one-way expressway to, we're not gonna think about that right now. Woo!
Ooh, boy, I wish this movie would stop persecuting me, personally, and make Enjoy the Accidental Villain again is extremely relatable and realistic.
Have I ever steered you wrong before?
Yeah, many times.
It's so true, both the character and the emotion. Even right now, as she's burying icky memories, the rest of the emotions follow Joy's lead because we all just want to be happy. Look, it's an ingenious illustration of memory storage, and it's really pretty, but also stop making me picture memories sloshing around in my brain.
I'm a winner.
Uh-oh. Look, it sounds good, and we should definitely believe in ourselves, but maybe winning doesn't need to be a core foundational belief. The details, fear with the stuffy, sadness with no glasses, disgust with the eye mask, anger dream fighting, and joy dream laughing. Perfect that it looks like a zit.
It's demo day!
And another perfect representation of something we all go through. The wrecking ball for the headaches that start with hormones dumping into your bloodstream.
Those morons broke the console!
The control console being overly complicated with new buttons we don't fully understand.
Wait, you can't leave it like this!
Don't worry, we'll be back!
And that the upgrade isn't completed overnight and the process is messy AF.
I'm the worst!
You're always on me! Can't you just lay off for like 1 second?
Also the rapid fire cycling of extreme emotions. Man, being a teen is hard. Don't let anyone tell you it's not.
I'm too gross to go to camp or anywhere ever again!
Although not even sure what the joke is, we all still feel that one at times.
Big weekend for us. What do you want to do?
Well, we could finally clean out the garage, or actually get stairs.
Aw, good try, Dad. And a cute joke for the parents, except that every parent knows that the idea of cleaning out the garage is like top 5 ways to ignite that spark.
You spilled the tea!
Coach Roberts isn't gonna be our coach next year. Grace!
Well played.
It's okay. We need this.
We really do. And that's called growth. There's always the temptation to redo what made the first movie work, but Joy has learned how important sadness is to a healthy psyche. And I did too. Made a whole other video about it.
We're so uncool.
Why are we still holding her hand?
Like me.
Appropriate reaction.
That's me, Riley from good old Michigan.
If anything, this movie is good for letting us all know that we're not the only ones who've done this.
I'm anxiety. I'm one of Riley's new emotions, and we are just super jazzed to be here.
Anxiety's design is perfect. Cute, but on the verge of bonkers, very gritty. Not the verb, the proper noun.
I'm Envy. Oh, look at your hair.
And envy is so small. I love that for Riley.
Welcome to headquarters embarrassment. Oh, we're doing a fit. No. Oh, nope. Going high.
Nailed it. No notes.
I'm gonna call you Wee Wee.
No. Yeah, good for you, Adele.
The next 3 days could determine the next 4 years of our lives. She fails to impress the coach, does not become a firehawk, and finally arrives at high school. She has no one.
This is one of the things that's so hard about being a teen. It seems totally silly to put that much pressure on yourself over 3 days, but this story also doesn't give us a clear-cut solution because there usually isn't one. All of the scenarios are realistic.
Why do
did you do that? We just left our best friends behind.
But what about the new ones that we're about to meet?
Anxiety and Joy arguing about what's important is also very on point.
She eats alone, and only the teachers know her name.
Ew.
Okay, you and I are gonna be friends.
Sad to lose Hater, but Tony Hale is a national treasure.
Remember when we all finally came up to headquarters? Those were the days.
Nostalgia.
And you can't beat a June Squibb cameo.
We are not changing in front of them.
It's fine. Locker rooms are places of mutual respect.
Are you sure Joy hasn't been recast by Delusion?
No, you're totally right. That decision's not gonna haunt us for the rest of our lives at all.
Get out of my head, movie. I don't enjoy that I identify with anxiety way more than Joy.
I mean, it really wasn't anything. I'm just trying to help.
What's tough about this is that there's a difference between an anxiety disorder and the raw emotion of anxiety in the way that she simply defined herself.
My job is to protect her from the scary stuff she can't see. I plan for the future.
And in that sense, anxiety can totally be useful, just like the movie is showing us. The problems start when it takes over the control panel forever.
What do you think you're doing? Riley's life is more complex now. It requires more sophisticated emotions than all of you.
And I know that it's not a perfect analogy, but if my anxiety doesn't use the power of my embarrassment to suppress all my other necessary emotions, it does. It does that.
It's not forever. It's just until Riley makes varsity or until she turns 18 or maybe forever. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yep, anxiety. Not forever or maybe forever. Nailed it. Incredible logo for the part of our minds that keeps the secrets.
It's Bluefy!
From that preschool show Riley used to like?
That's right!
King Shark cameo?
Bluefy, we're in a real pickle. Could you help us get out of here?
You might think Joy is just being cringe, but since she's been here since the beginning and definitely the most involved emotion when watching Bluefy, it's actually that she just really knows how to communicate with Bluefy. Joy dancing along is perfect.
Can you find a way out?
Who are you talking to?
Look, at some point we might need to unpack how every kid's show host breaks the fourth wall and how we don't all end up with the deepest of parasocial connections like Nurse Betty to Barney or Elmo or Steve from Blue's Clues. Well, actually that last one. Hey look, Angelica Pickles broke the fourth wall enough that even though she was mostly an antagonist to Tommy and Chucky, I fell in love with her, so let's all keep our judgments to ourselves. Wait, seriously, what was I talking about? Oh, right.
And here's a little secret. Riley still likes the show.
Good for you, Riley. Kids these days don't even know how hard we had it. Everyone agrees there isn't an age that is inappropriate to watch Bluey, but find out that 13-year-old me was still watching Rugrats, and now we have to unpack that.
Who are you talking to?
My friends. Do you see a key?
And that's a brutal fourth wall reveal. Deadpool knows he's in a movie. Fleabag uses the fourth wall as a defense mechanism, but Bluefy is just talking to an actual wall.
For I shall set you all free!
The PS3 character design is so spot on, even the shaky pixels, right down to the clunky controls in his hair and clothes constantly blowing in the wind. And I was gonna make some Cloud Sephiroth comparison, but Young, who voices Lance, has done voices in like every game we've played in the last 6 years, including Dylan in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Hi, everybody! I'm Pouchy!
Chekhov's pouch. E. The paper cutout style is killer. It's fun how it's got that rudimentary feel to it, but it would clearly take real skill and work to do. Also, Joy's plan is like this because she's a pretty simple emotion who's never had to plan before.
And then I tell Anxiety, don't worry so much anymore. And she'll say, wow, I never thought of that before.
Sneakily dropping in how people who don't struggle with severe anxiety sometimes think it works. Oh, you're stressed? Well, you should just do what I do and don't. Stop that. The little extraneous detail that Riley's brain is under construction because it's growing and creating more memory storage as she ages.
Owen is having fun, Joy.
Oh, come on. Look at Sadness. She's having a great time.
I mean, she's not wrong. Knowing your bestie.
Every time we miss, we skate a lap around the rink.
Okay, look, this is painted as bad, and it is. To a degree. You shouldn't stress yourself out like this, and this level of intense practice, like right before you're supposed to perform, isn't gonna help you, it's just obsession. But I used to do something similar when training before soccer preseason. I don't know, negative reinforcement doesn't seem to work in most other parts of life, but I don't think I saw it like that. You gotta practice, and you gotta get in shape, just don't cram it all into 1 week. Especially because rest is literally equally as important.
Oh, we should ask Belle lots of questions. People love talking about themselves.
Kinda true. Pro tip, if you ask your friends tons of questions and they ask you none, it might be time to reevaluate those friendships.
Hey, a few of us are just gonna hang out tonight, order some food. Oh, an exclusive invitation. We're going!
The unhinged laugh. Io is untouchable.
Just don't look down and keep moving.
Sometimes you'll cry, but it doesn't mean you have to stop pushing forward.
The Red Notebook.
Don't say it like that. You'll freak her out.
You guys, too much.
What? What was your freshman year on the Firehawks like?
I mean, It was a lot of work, but it's also how I met my best friends.
Love Val. We don't need to force younger generations to go through the exact same struggles as us so they'll fully appreciate the end result. I'm not saying remove all friction, I'm saying Val knows she gained nothing from upperclassmen teasing because she was on varsity as a freshman and was probably hazed in some way. And she's trying to not perpetuate the cycle. Do that. Be like Val.
Who's your favorite band?
I still get anxiety when people ask me this question. Partially because just like my favorite movie, it changes constantly. So like favorite of all time or just currently? Because I haven't gone a week without Chapel Roan in the rotation in over a year, but like, yeah, Weezer is the greatest even if I don't love every album equally.
Whereas Boy Genius only has one album and one EP and they're both perfect, but then Thrice had 3 albums in a row that define my teen years. At the same time, I don't sing along to anything in the car like My Chemical Romance. But Dan Terminus, Wave Shaper, and Gunship are literally all I listen to when I do yard work, and if we're talking about perfect albums, Neutral Milk Hotel takes the cake. Meanwhile, I don't think Stars has ever written a bad song, nor has Childish Gambino, and Between the Buried and Me has Mordecai, a top 10 favorite song of all time, but Radiohead wrote Everything in Its Right Place, which will literally shift my mood regardless of what my mood is. But does that mean that... Wait,
what was the question?
But I mean, you don't still like Get Up and Glow, do you?
But by the way, don't do this. It's hard because these girls might as well be adults to Riley, but they are in fact stupid kids. So unless someone is listening to genuinely harmful or hateful music, let people like what they like.
Well, walk like Danny. Her arms have rhythm.
No, that's how the Shai Hulud gets you. Oh, I forgot about Shai Hulud.
What do you think pockets are for?
Oh, that's
Ennui,
good.
I am very proud of you.
Of course, Ennui suggests putting the hands in the pockets. Classic whatevs, dude, I barely care look. Just like me with my music opinions.
Look, I don't like her words, and I do not like her actions. I just think I can change her.
Fear coveting a toxic relationship with anxiety kinda checks out. I know it's just an illustration, but the idea that too much sarcasm could truly kill my joy forever is the most terrifying thing in this movie. Sorry, the most terrifying thing in this movie.
Hey, I bet you're the best crane crew in the world.
I don't know if I like the literal sarcasm more or the execution of it changing the tone in the echo.
You'll do great. Just be yourself.
Did you hear that? We could become a firehawk, like, tomorrow.
Outside of Val just being the best, this moment is super important. Val says,
Be yourself.
but anxiety doesn't care about that. Anxiety just hears that Riley could get on the team. Therefore, who Riley is needs to change because anxiety doesn't believe who Riley actually is good enough.
Oh, I know a song. It's called I Give Up. Or let's play the quiet game. 1, 2, 3, hush.
Joy's pure mom energy.
When all you folks do is complain, complain. Jiminy, mother, loving toaster strudel.
Definitely stealing that as my new favorite expletive. It's refreshing to know Riley's still embarrassed to remember treating her friends like garbage.
Mount Rushmore?
Those are her top 4?
A+ pun. And Jordan from Riley's first date is still on her mind. And we'd all be a little surprised if we were truly honest about who our top 4 are. Not me, obviously. Julia, and Jennifer Connelly.
Don't listen to anxiety.
I'm just gonna write that down and put it on a loop for myself. Ha! Shows how dangerous memes can actually be.
Bring it on, coppers!
Oh, no.
Haha, anger can always burn.
Pastry chef, underpaid.
Art teacher!
Underappreciated.
Ethnomusicologist!
I don't understand what that is.
Tight rule of 3. Also good on Riley for dreaming slightly outside the box. We were gonna put in a joke here about how awful the Supreme Court is and what a stupid system it is to have people assigned to it for life, regardless of what side of the aisle they fall on, but we decided against it because we didn't want people to think this channel was getting too political.
Are we pushing her too hard?
We gotta see what's in the notebook. It's the only way for us to know how we can do better.
I'm glad they have Envy be the one who pushes here. It shows that anxiety is just one reason people have self-destructive behavior. We actually have many parts of our psyche capable of causing us harm.
It's not about who Riley is. It's about who she needs to be.
I know I keep saying this, but anxiety's lines are all so on point for what kind of headspace actual anxiety can put you in, and each word is like a jab to the old solar plexus.
You have a parachute?
Yes. The real question is, why don't any of you?
Nice reminder that fear isn't actually a bad thing as long as it's rational. No offense, Cypher Age. Oh, come on, you guys remember Cypher and Katai? Relatable. Why do we all think some new hair is guaranteed to solve our bad moods or emotional dips when it often does the opposite?
I'm not good enough.
Don't worry, it's just that she knows that there's always room for self-improvement.
And see, even our anxiety figures out that we shouldn't be internalizing the sum total of every single fear of the future. I just love this shot.
I don't know how to stop anxiety.
Talk to your doctor about escitalopram if it's really unbearable. That's what I take. Citalopram gave me crazy brain fog, but there are lots of options, even outside SSRIs like bupropion. But everyone's different.
Maybe this is what happens when you grow up. You feel less joy.
What? That's not true. No, but seriously, SSRIs are actually awesome.
Have a good game, Riley.
You too.
I'm glad Riley at least acknowledges Grace here. It would have been easy but hacky to have anxiety turn Riley into a full-on villain. But that's not what real anxiety does.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pouchy.
Wait out!
Anger is all of us.
Huh?
Also, Pouchy's discomfort really adds another layer to Dora's backpack, let's say violation.
I know what to do, but we're gonna need a lot more dynamite.
We've all been there. And what makes this all even trickier for Riley is that she's an excellent hockey player. The standard was set by Val, and Riley is about to surpass her, but at the cost of being a team player, which is obviously a huge part of team sports. Perfect blending of the 2D style explosion with the 3D world. Oh, brutal. Actually reminds me of the first brutal I ever awarded. So you could say Riley trucked her.
Anderson, penalty box, 2 minutes.
But I'm not totally sure if this would be a penalty, which is probably a part of Riley's spiral. I mean, Riley very clearly needed to chill out, so Coach was just using it as a chance to bench her, but otherwise seemed like a legal check.
I expected better, Riley.
Okay, we haven't quite gotten to the panic attack proper yet, but the visualization of an avalanche of bad suppressed memories flooding into her sense of self being a main catalyst for the panic attack is so dang on the nose. Seeing a kid hit themselves in the head like that is heartbreaking and too real. And now the panic attack is starting, which figuratively and literally blocks out every other emotion. And this might be the best depiction of a panic attack since Ted Lasso. CinemaWins Ted Lasso video available now on YouTube and Nebula. And the concept that a panic attack is effectively when your anxiety itself has lost control and is trapped.
I'm a good person.
I appreciate that this doesn't just fix everything, because Joy, and by extension Riley, needed to understand the damage she was doing to herself by shoving all those bad memories down.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to protect her. But you're right. We don't get to choose who Riley is.
Lots of stuff for kids in this movie, so it makes sense there'd be a little message for the parents. Also, the score is so discordant as everything comes flooding back. And another stellar representation of what our sense of self goes through as we get older. Some people may go their entire lives believing the same things about themselves, but this moment where Joy rips it out and Riley's identity becomes mutable, the look on her face perfectly captures the identity crisis we often go through in times of struggle. That she's not just a good person, she's a million different things and has to try to make each part of her work together to continue to be a good person. It's incredibly difficult to explain the complexities of being human, but this moment is pretty dang close to nailing it. And I love that anxiety is part of the hug because she'll always be a part of that process. It's the little things here that let us know somebody involved in the making of this scene has clearly actually suffered from anxiety or panic attacks. The grounding by touching the bench, the sounds coming back, the fact that I didn't even notice her vision was blurry until it wasn't anymore, and the background coming into focus as the attack ends is the cherry on top.
Riley, you okay?
Yeah. I mean, no.
I love their little surprised looks because how would they know? It's clear to us because we're literally inside Riley's head, but the outside world often has no clue, so be honest when you're not doing okay.
I was such a jerk to you guys. I'm so sorry. If you don't want to be friends anymore, I get it.
These movies create a separation between Riley and her emotions, so it could be easy to think the message is that none of it is her fault, and like, kinda true, we're not our emotions. But the fact that she takes responsibility for her actions by apologizing and also not expecting to be forgiven is also a great lesson. Hugging.
Joy, Riley wants you.
Ah, I thought you were gonna catch me crying, but I only cried the first 7 times I saw this scene. Now it's more of a light tearing up, and also, is this just like serotonin and dopamine? Cause yeah, nailed it again. Ah, yup, and there are the endorphins.
Hey, Minnesota.
Aw, she finally told him the truth.
Mom and Dad are very disappointed. We don't go pro and we find work as an ethnomusicologist. We have no friends and we die alone.
Yep, Yep. And again, I appreciate that anxiety isn't like locked in a cage in the back. She's in there now. But again, talk to your doctor if she's on the control panel too much.
I'll just be downstairs if you need me.
Yeah, seriously, people are trying to make me feel nostalgic about the mid to late 90s and early aughts, which is like, come on, people, that was like a few years ago. Chill.
So Riley, how was camp?
Pardon, excusez-moi.
That was good.
Oof, been there. Both sides.
And what about the red in her hair? Did she join a gang?
Welcome back, anxiety.
Yeah, nice try. She's a parent. Anxiety never left.
What's the secret?
We burn hole in rug.
Well, keep a lookout for a new friend called Broken Peppermill soon. I think the trickiest part, but also possibly the strongest part of this movie is that the villains aren't villains all the time or even ever for some people IRL. Anxiety pushes Riley into a panic or anxiety attack during the scrimmage, and that's clearly bad, but also Riley did score 2 goals. She almost did the thing she set out to do. And the cost of her friend's sanity and health were way too high, but ultimately if she hadn't spun out, the lesson learned would be going nutso like this works. And that's the gray area of this movie because it probably does for some people. And maybe that's the message, find that middle ground for you. That's why I've kind of grown to hate competition in my old age, because it doesn't matter if I'm better than anyone else, my only goal is to be better than me, better than I was yesterday. As a wise chili dog likes to say, run your own race. But I think my favorite thing about this movie is something I touched on earlier and a little bit in my 2 other Inside Out videos. That there's a separation between Riley and her emotions because she isn't her emotions. But they are also a part of her and inform her decisions and shape her life and personality. All of the visualizations of bottling up emotions, suppressing bad memories, even the conflict between joy and anxiety in the beginning until anxiety has to block joy out so she can accomplish her goals, it's also relatable. And even though there's a risk of making kids think that they aren't responsible for their actions, the story spends enough time in the real world with Riley that I think they'll get it. Because even if it's not our fault, we're still going to pay the price. I love it. I love that movies can play a part in helping kids, heck, adults, me, understand our emotions better. So keep bringing it, Pixar. Next week, a loud movie.
Who's your favorite band?
Now, if I'm being honest, John Denver is still such a huge piece of my upbringing that it might just be him, although The Used was a pivotal screamo gateway into hardcore and metal where I'd really start falling for August Burns Red and the Acacia Strain and At the Gates, because apparently I only like metal that starts with an A. But if we're talking pivotal, Shiny Toy Guns was playing on a loop when I rented my first apartment, although if there's a life-changing album, it's actually the one Julia gave me when she was still secretly in love with me, and that had, like, a lot of favorites. Or like, Creed. I guess just Creed.